Yeah, I hope you're seeing a common thread on all of this prayer, protest, meet up. Probably the most important thing we can do is vote. So let's make that a goal for 2010. Our next speaker comes from the West Plains area. His name is Bob Parker, and he wants to express to us his sentiment of the way things are these days. Welcome, Bob Parker.
Thank you. Good afternoon. Good to see you all down here in Cape Girardeau. I don't make it over this way too often. I've been here a few times. I live over west of here, up in the Ozark Hills, south of a little town called Rolla, Missouri, in Texas County. And I don't know about you guys, but over there we're kind of getting enough of what's going on in Washington, D.C., aren't you?
Yeah!
As a matter of fact, a lot of people in my area have been carrying signs like this and getting up off their couches and talking to their neighbors, and they're getting pretty concerned with what they're seeing coming out of Washington, D.C. right now. Thank you for coming out today. This is the 4th of July. This is the day that we always celebrate our liberty and our freedom that our forefathers worked so hard to secure for us. And you know, it's the obligation of every generation to work to preserve those freedoms that we all enjoy, isn't it? And I know that's why you're here today, because you're concerned. Not everybody's at our little party today. A lot of people aren't here. I think in the coming weeks, more and more people are going to be joining parties just like this one. And you know, our founders, when this thing started, yeah, they had tea parties, but then they took it to the next level. And they had a revolution. And I'm not saying we should have a revolution exactly like the one our founders have, but we need to have a revolution where we go back to the ideals and go back to our Constitution and go back to the things that made this country great to start with.
Yes.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm 52 years old. I've been a farmer all my life. Been a rancher, I milk cows. I've been involved in politics a little bit. Served on a school board, various boards, trying to do my part in my community to help. I have never seen the kinds of things happening in this country that we're seeing right now. I'm absolutely shocked and appalled by what is going on in Washington, D.C. right now. The veterans that are here today, would you please raise your hands, the veterans that are here? Give them a big round of applause. Thank you for what you've done, and thank you for your sacrifice. And I want to thank your families also for the sacrifices these families of these veterans and those that serve are making and have made. I have family members in the military, and I know how hard it is, and I know what you go through. And I think it's a shame that the promises that were made to you veterans are not being kept right now. I think that is a shame, and I think that should be changed. Another thing that has really bothered me, as a matter of fact, when this happened, I had a little party similar to this. I had a bailout protest rally in West Plains, and we had a group about this size come. And we protested the bailout because we felt like throwing $700 billion at a bunch of bankers and Wall Street people was just absolutely the wrong thing to do. Do you feel that way? And we were, and I was so upset when I saw our representative here in the 8th District and how she voted on that issue. And you know, what's going on? You know, they talk about transparency. There was no transparency in that. We don't know where that money went, do we? And the Federal Reserve, there's a bill right now to audit the Federal Reserve. Have y'all heard of that? Yeah. The 1207 bill? It's got 250 sponsors in the House. But our representative in the 8th District hasn't signed on to that yet. What's going on? Why can't we just get transparency? Isn't that what we all want?
Yes.
The Federal Reserve is not federal, and they'd have no reserve. I'm getting tired of business as usual in Washington. I'm getting tired of vote after vote after vote. That is a violation of the Constitution of the United States. Haven't these people have sworn to uphold and defend the Constitution against all enemies, foreign and domestic? I don't think they've read the Constitution, do you? I think some of the biggest threats to our country are not on some foreign shore, but they're up there in the hallowed halls of Washington, D.C. I think we need to stop abortion on demand. I think that's a disgrace to this country, and that's got to stop. The animal identification program that we've had 40 some meetings around the state of Missouri trying to educate Missourians about what the federal government is getting ready to do on registering your farm, chipping your animals, causing you to report every movement of your animals. This is unconstitutional, my friends, and I oppose it, and we've got to stop it. We've got to stop the Real ID program. We don't need a computer chip in our driver's license and enhanced driver's licenses and special cards, and I'm against the computer chips in passports. I think it's wrong. If you look on your old Social Security cards, they said they weren't even supposed to be used for identification purposes. I can't even buy a hunting license anymore without my Social Security number. They use it for identification purposes. I want to talk a minute about the Second Amendment. How many people in here value and are grateful for the Second Amendment? I know a lot of you value the Second Amendment like I do. I've lived out in the country all my life. I've lived out on the farm. When we don't dial 911 out there, we get Colt or Ruger to help us out. And you know what I'm talking about. By the time law enforcement gets out to my ranch, all they're going to do is need a white piece of chalk to draw around the bodies. That's all they're going to need out there, and it's either going to be my body or it's going to be the other guy's body. But there won't be much left by the time they get there because it's going to be over. And I value the Second Amendment. These free trade deals we've got. Just go down and ask your local farmer or your local business people or your local manufacturing plant how well they like all these free trade deals we've been doing the last few years. If you can find one, if there's any left. I mean, just look at it, folks. They're still arguing that these are good things for us. We need more free trade. We need more free trade deals. Has that worked? Hello, wake up. Has that worked? No. We need to protect our manufacturing jobs and our farmers and our good American jobs. You can't just lower all the barriers and let imports flood in and destroy our people that are producing these products. You can't do that. And they've done that. When they said 30 years ago that a service economy was what was going to be the economy that was going to run America in the future, 30 years ago I'm like, what, a service economy? You know, yeah, we need a service part of our economy, but we need manufacturing. We need agriculture. We need good jobs. You need any good jobs here in Cape Girardeau? We need good jobs over in Texas County and Wright County and Howe County. All over the 8th District we need jobs. I'm here today to announce that I'm forming an exploratory committee for the 8th District Congress. And I'm glad I was able to make that announcement here in Cape Girardeau. Thank you. Folks, socialism never works. The ideals that our president is putting forth is an absolute disgrace to our founders and those that have gone before us, and we've got to rise up and we've got to stop this tyrannical government that's taking over and running everything that we have. Ronald Reagan said, government is not the solution to the problem, government is the problem. Let's take America back, folks. Thank you.